All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm Aaron. My study was on endocrine responses following exhaustive strength exercise with and without the use of protein and protein carbohydrate supplements. All right, so numerous studies state that in strength training, high volume and intensity are the main factors in determining post exercise secretion of anabolic hormones, specifically growth hormone, insulin, and insulin like growth factor. Although insulin like growth factor is thought to be more impacted by an individual's energetic state and protein supply. Just to kind of touch base on the function and purpose, if you will, of each of these hormones, since it's kind of relevant. Growth hormone obviously has an anabolic effect on skeletal muscle. It stimulates protein synthesis, facilitates the transport of amino acids into skeletal muscle, which obviously thus affects muscle hypertrophy. Insulin is one of the more potent anabolic hormones. It increases in collection of amino acids and stimulates protein synthesis. Insulin also indirectly inhibits catabolic reactions. And then insulin like growth factor stimulates amino acid uptake in the muscles. It affects the transcription and translation of mRNA. It stimulates the repair process and then also activates glycolysis and inhibits lipolysis. All right, so the overall objective of this study was to find out the effect of carbohydrate protein supplements with whey protein used directly after resistance training and then casein protein supplements taken prior to bedtime to kind of see how those would affect an individual's recovery as well as the concentration of growth hormone, insulin, and insulin-like growth factor. The study also sought to evaluate the effect of whey and casein supplements on creatine kinase during post-workout recovery. All right, so just to quickly touch base on the differences, refresh your memory, since it's kind of relevant to the study again. The difference between whey and casein. So whey protein is rapid delivery of amino acids into the bloodstream. It has the optimal amount of EAAs to BCAAs and glutamine. Whey isolates are considered to have the highest biological value. Casein protein has a much slower rate of digestion, which allows for that prolonged amino acid supply. Okay, so the study took 12 male individuals with an average of 6 years training experience, also 25 years old on average, 75.9 kilograms of body mass, and 171.8 centimeters tall. Took them and divided them up into a control and experiment group. 6 weeks prior, the subjects were taken off any medication or additional supplements. The week prior, they were given an isocaloric diet consisting of 53% carbs, 22% protein, and 25% fat. They also had to refrain from consuming any coffee, alcohol, or tea. I don't know how they did it, but they did. And then 3 days prior, they were allowed one light resistance training workout session. So the exercise protocol testing was consisting of squats, 12 sets total at 3 reps, and the weight was 90% of each individual's 1 rep max. So 10 minutes after completion of the exercise protocol, the experimental group was given a whey carb shake consisting of 70% carbs and 30% protein. And then again, before bedtime, the experimental group received a casein shake consisting of 90% casein protein. Just something of note here is both the shakes nutrient ratios were determined by the participants' body mass. So for the whey shake, it was 0.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body mass, and then 0.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body mass for the casein shake. And then during this time, the control group was given water. All right, so this table kind of shows you the results of growth hormone and then insulin-like growth factor. Overall, both groups saw an increase in both these hormones when comparing pre-exercise levels and 24 hours post-recovery. The experimental group did see the largest jump, particularly between 1 hour of recovery and 24 hours of recovery, as you can see there. This table shows the change in insulin and then creatine kinase values. No significant difference in insulin levels tested during any of the 4 stages. So that's before exercise, after 1 hour recovery, and after 24 hours of recovery. And then the consumption of carbohydrate protein supplements did not seem to have any impact on creatine kinase levels at all. So as I just mentioned, the protein supplements did not lead to any significant decrease in creatine kinase level, which underlines previous reports that they wouldn't have an effect. In fact, there was an increase in creatine kinase activity following 24 hours of recovery, which obviously suggests severe muscle damage as a result of those substantial forces during muscle contraction, or oxidative damage due to increased production of free radicals. There was a non-significant increase in insulin, suggests that the carbohydrate protein supplements have little impact on insulin post exercise. There is studies that suggest there are more beneficial times to take a carbohydrate protein supplement in order to see a change in insulin blood concentration. Those are kind of, other studies have said before, during the exercise seems to affect it more, and then consumption at rest rather than after resistance training seems to affect those insulin values more. Exercise alone did not significantly increase growth hormone, but the most significant change came 24 hours after recovery, so not an hour alone when there was just that whey supplement consumed. So this kind of suggests that casein is probably or possibly more effective in increasing resting growth hormone values, or it could be a combination of them working in tangent, because as I said, they take the whey, then the casein, and then those two working together increase growth hormone concentration. The study did show an increase in resting insulin-like growth factor 24 hours after recovery with the use of whey and casein. This leads to speculation that protein supplements, especially casein, can reduce the need for insulin-like growth factor in order to secure energy in muscle cells. So the body becomes less reliant on insulin-like growth factor because it now has these supplements. So in conclusion, overall, protein carb supplementation does impact anabolic hormone secretion level to some degree, but the timing and source of the protein does impact levels, so that's kind of important. The little impact that both supplements the little impact that whey had on the hormones 1 hour after exercise kind of dispelled that whole bro science myth, if you will, of there being an anabolic window, as most changes seem to occur 24 hours post recovery with the inclusion of a casein supplement. All right, and that is the end of my presentation. I hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching.